All right, and it's going to be just me and Aaron bringing you guys into the home stretch here since
Whoop whoop.
Jim is off at some fancy dinner. Pinkies up is what I hear.
Pants
Uh,
on, probably.
yes, probably. Pants requirement, no
Yeah.
shorts, so he's let down.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we're gonna get right into The Immortal Hulk, number 19. That's written by Al Ewing, art by Joe Bennett, Roy Jose, and Paul Mounts. It's probably pronounced fancier than that, but that's what he's getting from me. So yeah, we get that with no recap page really in this issue, but we get some foreshadowing. The foreshadowing page, I call it, by William Shakespeare. I would eat his heart in the marketplace. So store that in the memory banks for later, because this issue actually begins years ago with a scene actually Aaron brought up, very reminiscent. If you read the Hulk one shot from, I
Peter
think,
David.
yeah, last week at this point.
Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah, it's kind of a scene reminiscent of that. When the soldier driving Betty to seems like the Gamma test site actually, and Professor Ross is in the back seat reading the newspaper, doing what he does, and the guy's basically just trying to spout off at the mouth. Impress Betty. He does not have much luck and gets called out embarrassingly by General Ross himself. All this while there's some, narration, not narration, but conversation about this this butterfly that's caught in a spider web at the stoplight. So
Yeah, I don't know if Betty's sitting there playing the doof here, not understanding how the circle of life works with spiders and all.
yeah,
But she's just kind of, I think she's just kind of letting this guy talk and act like he's kind of superior to her or
if
something.
if she doesn't know, she was certainly mansplained to right there.
Yeah, pretty much. And this is that guy that is controlling the abomination
Yeah,
right now too.
yeah,
So
it all comes full circle because his whole message is, you sometimes you got to kill a few to save the many.
mhm.
And that's basically what he reiterates here later. And it didn't impress General Ross back then. I don't know how he feels about it now. He's not here in this book. But we go to present day, and then we got the abomination with Rick Jones embedded inside of his hand face.
And video camera embedded into
Directly
side
in his
Rick
eyeball? I
Jones.
don't know. Yeah. But yeah, and anyway, Hulk and him are duking it out while, like Aaron said, the gentleman that was driving Betty in the truck from earlier is watching this all go down. He's running Shadow Base. And also, a third aspect to this whole thing. So while I did say it was a quick issue, the dialogue and the multiple, scenes occurring with the Red Harpy narration over everything kind of makes you slow down and read what's going on so you know who's saying what and what's happening. I tended, once I got the gist of the Red Harpy narration, I
Yeah,
decided
I
to read
figured it
that
was
all
kind
at
of,
once every time
yeah.
I flipped the page.
When I ended it, I read all over again. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
this really doesn't add anything else to it because
yeah,
sometimes they just break up a sentence throughout the pages.
yeah. She narrates the entire issue like she's writing a Tom King Batman book. So
Pretty much. Violence is me.
yeah,
Pain is
exactly what it
me.
reminded me of. So I had a chuckle as far as that goes.
That is
Uh,
pretty good. It makes
but
me
yeah,
enjoy this shoe more, actually.
yeah. Anyway, Hulk ends up not doing so well here in this fight, where you think he would take Abomination down as he has many times before, but he goes to give him kind of a right cross, a right uppercut here, and his
Yeah.
hand ends up getting stuck in the mouth,
Yeah.
hand mouth. Is that where it is?
It's the hand mouth basically. It's like one of those moves you see in like No Holds Bar where when Hulk punches Zeus and Zeus just grabs his hand and like holds it like, yeah, you ain't punching me. But
Yeah,
then he just juices
go
him with
ahead.
this
Yeah, Hulk
toxic.
pulls it out. Shadowbase kind of sensed it's coming. They're testing this stomach acid or this acid he spews out.
Yeah.
Uh, it ends up dissolving Hulk's hand, and Hulk is surprised even himself that he's not healing. So
Yeah.
Jones takes that as an opportunity to get even more disgusting than he already is, and decide to vomit all over
Yeah.
Hulk, which does not bode well for the big green guy here. as he just
It's
starts.
eating bones, skin, and
Yeah,
tissue, everything.
it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
The art is awesome and gross in a Saw type way at the same time.
Just like every issue of this has been.
Yeah. But then the story continues as these mercenaries end up coming down, trying to contain this town, not let any of the news of the Abomination Hulk fight that's occurring
Yeah, the one
uh
hotel
to
lady.
a halt. Yeah, and they end up putting a bullet right in the other hotel. The hostess is the main desk lady's head, right in their forehead. And as a result, the who's this reporter? I always forget her name. She's following Red
Uh,
Harpy Betty at this point, but she seems to have Red
Jackie
Harpy.
McKee.
Yeah, she seems to have Red Harpy under control until they all witness this bullet really go into this innocent lady's brain,
Yeah.
and as a result, Red Harpy completely loses her.
I mean, that's how she became Red Harpy. She got shot in the head. So
She completely loses her crap and goes after these guys. And when I mean goes after them, she goes after them limb for limb
yeah,
and like
rips them
separates
asunder.
them each one by one. So kills all three of them. The reporter's basically, you didn't have to kill them. You could have just taken the guns.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, wouldn't have worked. They would have killed us.
Yeah.
And
Like no care
pretty
whatsoever for these
straightforward.
guys whatsoever.
And it's like that was the gateway to hell for her because it's all downhill from there.
Yeah.
Stumbles upon the Hulk Abomination fight. And as we mentioned, that was not going well for Hulk earlier. Uh, yeah, it's still not going well for Hulk. He has no arms or legs right now, no
Or
eyeballs.
eyes, yeah. He's just totally just on the verge of death, like help me.
Yeah, like Hulk hurts. That's all he keeps saying basically. And Betty mutters a few words, and Hulk can hear still. So he gets the sense, even though the voice is a little off, that it's Betty. So Betty starts wandering over to Hulk. The Abomination is watching this all go down, kind of controlled by Shadow Base. He's basically telling him to stand down because he wants to see what happens here. And things seem to benefit Shadow Base in this instance because Harpy, despite the Hulk hurts pleas over and over, and what is Betty doing over and over, decides to just rip Hulk's big green heart directly out of his chest and start going to town like it's Thanksgiving dinner here. So that's how the issue concludes.
In a
Hulk
very gruesome scene,
wide
yeah.
open from throat to beehole and gushing green stuff everywhere with Harpy and Abomination looking on just in utter shock. Everybody, the reporter in utter shock. I mean, Abomination's not in utter shock. You can't see what he's doing. There's a hand over his face, but that's how things wrap up here. And I really enjoyed it. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. Other than the brief snippet of Hulk going to hell here in this series, which it seems like he's heading back there. I don't know about you. Uh
It's
pretty
either that or she's eating his heart to regenerate his body inside of her body or something
yeah,
like that.
I have no idea what's going on. I couldn't even take the wildest guess where this is
Yeah.
gonna go because I don't know enough Hulk. Like, yeah, Al Ewing's probably going to reach back into the Hulk lore and pull something crazy out of his bag of tricks there. I'm a little though. My only complaint is, we were getting the old school Joe Fixit Hulk last issue,
Mhm.
and that quickly all vanished and went away in a blink because now he's obviously not going to be him when he comes back, probably. So if he comes back, but I'm going to give it a 9. I really enjoyed it. Other than my minor complaint of not getting enough Joe Fixit for my liking, and the speed of this issue kind of not moving forward a whole bunch, just the ending resolution to the fight we saw last issue. I love the art. I do love still the story and the action going on here. I'm right at a 9. How about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with the 9. There was like a couple of panels that were like, "Well, that doesn't look as tight as his stuff normally is." But other than that, I have no problem with this issue whatsoever. I did not. I mean, it threw me off at the first just because I was mixing up what Hulk issue I read last
I know. This
with the
book comes out
comparison of the two
so quick
stories.
too. It's like every other week schedule. So, I don't fault Joe Bennett too much for goofing on art here or there
No,
because that's a tough schedule to keep up on.
oh, for sure. And I'm gonna just venture a guess that maybe that they're gonna have a less Hulk involved couple issues coming up. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna jump right into what happened in Hulk. I think they're gonna make us wait for a little bit. I haven't looked at previews, so I
Me,
wouldn't know
I've
either.
read them, but I just don't remember 20 specifically, like what's going to happen. So I'm super interested to see where they take this Hulk getting his heart eaten.
It
I'm
was definitely a
surprised.
direction I did not envision happening.
Yeah, I'm real surprised there weren't tweets all over the place like Wednesday, Thursday, anything like that. Just Hulk's dead. Like
Yeah.
nobody's talked about it.
No, I haven't seen anything about this
Best I've ever
whatsoever.
seen in an issue of a comic book on page in my life, and usually there's big hype surrounding that and going with all that.
Yeah, it's generally spoiled pretty good by now too.
One flip until I picked up the issue and flipped through it, I was like, oh, we're going here. Usually there's some sort of warning.
Yeah.
The community is not known to keep their mouths shut about spoilers like this. So kudos to everybody. I don't know. I guess it's not a big deal because he's quote unquote immortal. That's the title of the issue. So we'll see. But
But yeah, that acid bath is not allowing him to regenerate still.
he's gonna be Hulk just strapped to a skateboard trying to put everybody to death. So I'm down for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but we're gonna wrap up the podcast here, me and Aaron. That falls to us this week with Jim out of his fancy dinner with pants and all that nonsense. But you
I
guys,
hope he's uncomfortable.
yeah, me too. I hope he's like 2 seconds away from loosening the belt and the top button like
Yeah.
But you guys interested in written reviews, you can go to weirdsciencemarvelcomics.com. That's where you'll find every single issue. Spoiler alert, we have review copies now, so those you can count on a whole bunch of things dropping right around Wednesday 12 a.m. Eastern time, midnight, each and every week from here on out. You guys interested in the Patreon, some extra podcasts and content, that is Patreon Weird Science. What else what am I forgetting? Oh yeah, the podcast, Podbean, iTunes, wherever all that is. You guys interested in rating and reviewing, please do so. Not required, but it would be very helpful. And we're going to sign out here. I probably forgot one or two things, and Jim will anally take it on me, but
And I have no memory, so I'm no help.
yeah, that's on him for fancy dinners. So we're out of here, and we'll talk to you guys on Sunday. Later.